You grew up in Switzerland, the daughter of a financier, as I understand it. So I'm very curious about what drew you to art as a subject to make your life's work.
Yes, I grew up in Switzerland. My father was in the financial industry. My mother was a passionate art lover. She took me to the Basel Art Fair really early on, and I suppose she passed me the bug.
How early on?
The first time I went to the Basel Art Fair, I was 4 years old.
Really?
So, as early as that.
And were you pretty much from the beginning clear that you wanted to do some kind of art-related career?
Absolutely not.
No?
No, I first wanted to join the circus, then I wanted to join the theater world, and then I had to abide by family rules and go to university, and I studied political sciences. And through political sciences, I discovered art sociology, which became my major and my first passion. And through art sociology, I moved into the art world. The art sociology was very much about how do you look at society and how can art be the forward of what's happening, or an explanation or an illustration of what's happening. And so from there, I grew wonderful relationships with artists and became interested in doing exhibition. And I think my going into the art world starts with putting together exhibitions.
Did the market, as distinct from just art and artists' visions, interest you particularly for some reason, or in addition to those things?
I think there's no separation in between the art, the artist, the exhibition, the market. I really believe in the art world as being all-encompassing. I don't think I work in the art world, I think I live in the art world. And as soon as you start talking with an artist, you have to know about the market, because the artist's desire, even if it's to first show and get known for his work and be written about and be talked about, he needs to sell this work. So to me, the market is totally complementary to the art and the artist. I don't see it as something separate.
Talking about the market aspect of the art world, I was wondering whether your view of it, you're talking about it very holistically, but I was wondering whether your view of that aspect of the art world had evolved much over the course of the last 20 years.
Of course, my view of the market first evolves every day, but I suppose there are a few principles that are there. An incredible belief in quality, a belief that you cannot control the market.
Do you believe that with the exception of bubbles and strange moments, that overall the market really does bring the most interesting to you, the most interesting, valuable work to the forefront?
I think the quality, at least if we're talking 20th century, I think the quality of possible available works is drying much faster than we realize. You know how many museums are being built, foundation, works that will never come again? You cannot today find a great drip Pollock. That tells you everything. And we could go on and on in what are the artists that you cannot find. So I think that drives the market, that drives prices. But I don't think the market brings out the works, no.
Your work has always been, as I understand it, and is still primarily sort of modern and post-war focused. Was there some particular reason that you were particularly drawn to that period, or those periods?
I'm very, very excited by the breaking of figuration. And so that really starts with Cubism, or even maybe with, late Mondrian. So I think that's what fascinated me, that one day one had the courage to go outside figuration, outside the landscape, outside religious painting. So I suppose I identify to that. I think breaking with tradition and constantly questioning and reinventing oneself is really one of my core beliefs, and is, I think, illustrated by the artists that I work or the estate that I work with. So maybe that's what drove me to the 20th century.
This gallery is the first gallery that has been entirely yours, right?
Absolutely.
And I guess, had you always wanted to have your own gallery?
No, I don't think it was a vision to have my own gallery, but it definitely was a vision to share things the way I see them, to install art the way I love to install, to do books the way I love to do them.
And you started this gallery in 2013, is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
And then expanded to London the next year.
Yes, and Geneva.
And Geneva. So that seems like a very fast growth path to me.
You know, this gallery was very much, I mean, it feels new because it carries my name, but it's very much the extension of what I've done in the last 15 years. So yes, maybe from the outside world it looks fast. To me, it just looks like a normal evolution.
Does the London gallery have a quite different program from the New York one?
It will have more a different rhythm, but the program will have the same, I hope, sensibility and the same feel. And I find it interesting if we can, and if it's meaningful, because if not, why doing it? But I find it interesting that sometimes you can do an exhibition in between two countries. Definitely our next project is also a joint project.
Have you noticed between New York and London any particular difference in the market or the responsiveness to what you're offering?
I think it's a bit soon, but I'm convinced that we've entered a world where it's a global market. But I don't think that we will see different patterns and different habits.
When someone comes in off the street into one of your galleries, what is it that you really hope they will take away from the experience?
I think maybe an emotion, whether it's an excitement of discovery, whether it's a rage of dislike, whether it's a thirst for learning, whether it's the desire of acquiring, but an emotional response. Definitely the opposite of indifference is what I would love to share, and then hopefully the desire to come back.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Dominique, for sitting down with us and talking. This was a fascinating interview.
Thank you.